Welcome to Nightlight. Step away from the mainstream and gather around as we enlighten the world and our realities and travel this cosmic journey we call life. Join us as we share with you and provide that beacon that can guide us all to a better way. Explore with us as we examine a metaphysical montage of spiritual insights, covering everything from the mundane to the magical, UFOs to unicorns, and everything in between. This is a time of awakening, of sharing and evolving, of spreading our wings and soaring on the cosmic breath of creation. Come and join with other light-minded spirits as we weave our lights together to seek understanding, enlightenment, and, with a little luck, some wisdom. This is Nightlight, a reminder that you are never alone.
Welcome to Nightlight, everybody. First off, got to thank Ken Quiethawk for that amazing intro. He and his wife can be found at nativestorytellers.com, and it's important for us to remember how history used to be kept and passed on person to person, generation to generation. We used to talk a lot in our families before the invention of those horrible things called radio and television and internet and cell phones and all of that. And in those times, we talked. We shared family stories. I will admit that I learned my family history by being bored to death at the dinner table every Sunday, but at least I have a history to pass on now to my grandchildren, and I plan on boring them to death at Sunday dinners at some point in time, so that they know where the family came from and the cute and amazing stories that are told in most families that will embarrass most people. But somehow you have to be able to pass them on. Somehow you have to be able to share the past with the present generations so that they can do the same later on. Native storytellers, they were very, very important parts of the tribe because they told the history of the tribe and the people, and it's amazing to listen to some of the stories today because they have impact and they taught morals and they taught all sorts of amazing things on top of the fact that they were teaching the history of the tribe. So it's important to remember these things. Check it out. It will entertain, it will amaze, and it may even possibly educate you to a certain degree. That said, tonight is one of those evenings that I just absolutely love because Michele Avanti is with us, and she never ceases to amaze me. I always learn something when she's on the show. I always have pen and paper here so that I can make sure that I write things down so that I remember them beyond the show. And always there is a morsel here and a morsel there that help to enrich what it is that I share with other people as well. So if you get a reading, fantastic. If you don't get a reading, again, wisdom and lessons are passed on through other people's information as well. So quite often, something that one person asks applies to so many others of us that haven't bothered to call in or are listening in archive or whatever. So there's wisdom, there's information, there's teaching, there's insight, there's all sorts of wonderful stuff that you could gather from listening to a really good astrologer talk astrology talk and in between tell you what's going on in your life. But it's kind of like the dinner table story, to be honest with you. The more I listen to Michele, the more I hear things that I've heard before about retrogrades and quincunxes and all of that stuff that, sooner or later it makes great sense to me and I actually understand what she's talking about. So it's a foreign language, one that I'm not as well trained in as I certainly would like to be, but it's one that she is fluent with, and she's such a joy to have on the show with us the first Monday of every month. Welcome, Michele. Glad you're here.
No, I'm so glad to be here today. It's a new moon. We had a new moon today in Gemini, so whole new doorways open, beginnings of communication or ideas involved with communication that people will start experiencing. Unfortunately, some who are in the earth and water signs might find some challenges from some communication coming in and maybe socializing that they do. But always remember to step into it, and don't let your tongue fly before your brain is listened. That's important. But anyway, yeah, new moon in Gemini, so time to build on ideas you may have had in the past, and time to move forward with social events that you may have thought about. This is the time.
Yay. Well, let's it's really, and those, while they seem like generalities, apply so specifically to people in their lives in different ways. So it is really important, the element of communication. It takes on all forms. And
it's all kinds of new ideas that can come in with Gemini moon. Ideas, that you hadn't thought about or that somebody mentioned before, and then all of a sudden you go, wow, I could take that to a new level. And that kind of thing is kind of cool. New moon. New moons are times where, you dig a hole and you have more dirt than you had when you started. So it's kind of cool.
Very cool. Well, we have some people that were here before I even tuned in to the show. So let's reward them for their patience and pull them on and start going here. We've got Laura here. Hi, Laura. You here? Laura? Huh. Hello, Laura.
Maybe she muted.
Okay. Laura, if you're on mute, we can't hear you. Unbelievable. She was here before I was. Okay, we'll put her back on hold, and we'll go to Wendy. Hi, Wendy.
Hi, thank you very much.
Wonderful to meet you, Wendy. What's your birthday?
July the 6th, 1951, 8:45 at night.
Let's see. July 6th, 1951. That's a 5-1, right? And what?
Yes, 5-1.
And what time at night?
8:45.
8:45 p.m. And where were you born?
Oakland, California.
Oakland. That is an amazing place, Oakland. So much intelligence there. It's all kind of like gathered together in one little spot. Okay, let's see. What it looked like in 1951 was a whole different story than what it looks like now, huh?
Mm-hmm.
A lot less crowded. So what do you want us to focus on? I've got your chart up. I got a Capricorn rising, 18 degrees, so you've got Saturn just gone over that, and it's applying now, and that can make you feel, sometimes it makes you feel old, sometimes it makes you feel cold, and sometimes it makes you feel both. But it's not the best time to feel outgoing. It's challenging.
I am currently employed, but I've not worked since May the 11th because I work in a call center and my hearing aid stopped working. I've kept in very close contact with my employer, and I went to a wonderful new hearing aid place, and I'm going to ask them to submit a short-term disability claim to EDD because I can't work until my hearing aids are fixed. I hope they do this. And another big change, I have a new supervisor, her name is Christina with a K, and and then her assistant is Tracy, but she doesn't seem very nice. So I haven't heard from Christina, so I'm going to send her an email tomorrow just to touch base. And I also applied for a new job online. It's my second attempt to apply for this job online, it's a vision insurance company, and I have 15 years experience from another vision insurance company. So I just hope that I keep employed until I get a new job and keep working at least for another year. What do you see?
Well, I will say this. Right now, Mars is on top of Uranus, your progress Uranus, and it's applying to your sun in the house of the workplace. And Mars actually rules your career, so I'd say you have a good chance of getting success. It may very well be success coming through this internet thing. It would not surprise me with Uranus being in the middle. Let's just see if there's an activation of your Venus in any way, shape, or form. What is activating is your South Node, so it could very well be this internet job since it connects with something from the past. The South Node will bring in information from the past. It is challenging for you at this time. It is making a square to Jupiter, so communication, that's the communication challenge of not having your hearing aid working. But Mars will pass here pretty soon, and when it does, you probably are going to get that hearing aid fixed up. It's probably going to come through for you, so that's kind of good news. Let me just see where the progressed Venus has gone off to. Oh, I see it. It's not helping any. So unless there's a midpoint there, which I'm not, let's see, no, there wouldn't be. It would be too small. So, but it looks good to me. It looks like the internet job is something that may be coming through. Now, as for the person right now who is your supervisor, that's part of this Saturn issue. And I don't have a whole lot going on with Saturn that's really positive till it goes direct again, and then you're going to have an excellent connection. And that is a little bit down the road. So let me just go forward a little because I'd like to tell you that, and that way you have that to look forward to. You do have Pluto has been kind of messing with you, but Pluto, even in its retrograde, is actually making a trine to your sun. So I believe that's going to open up some kind of door for you to transform perhaps the way that you are integrating money or sharing taxes or insurance or the whole thing with your hearing aid. It's going to transform it and give you some kind of success. So I see that as very positive. Jupiter, I don't believe, is going to go direct for a few months. It's not really direct to where it's taking any action until October. But once it does, then it really gets to where it wants to go. And at 18 degrees, when it hits 18 degrees again, you have a trine. And that's what it was probably under this trine that you received that last job. So here's the trine again, but this is a trine that will stick, okay? And that opens up December the 3rd. So, and it could be, a week before, it could be a little bit later, but that's the zone. So there is a doorway where there's more opportunity. That opportunity also opens up doors for, could come through a relationship, could come through a partnership, could come through someone from the past that you had partnered with, which could be this other business type. But it could also be that you just get a really good recommendation from someone that you have worked for in the past, and that doorway opens up for you to get more of what you want. So there's some good success coming. It's a little bit down the road, but in the interim, it looks like you're going to get your hearing aid fixed, and it looks like you're going to be either back at this job, or it really looks like you're going to get the one on the internet. So stick with it. You do have a doorway coming up.
Thank you. And I have two supervisors that will be references for me, and so that's pretty strong. But I applied for this company called Frisant last month, and I didn't hear anything. But this time I applied at their website, and for goodness sakes, I have 15 years experience, but we'll see. So it would be thrilling for them to hire me, and I'm sure I would be a benefit to them.
Yeah. Well, this time, December 3rd, around that time, Mars is also hitting your midheaven, rules your midheaven. So it was really a very active time for you. It sure looks like a doorway to me for you to be able to get resources from the past, or somehow is activating your career. So there is something coming up for you that's really good down the road. More of what you really want, from what I can tell. So
it's more what I do want.
Yeah, it's more of what you really want, because the sun at that point in time is in your house of wishes and dreams, and it is activating the south node again. It's challenging your south node, but it's also activating a real interesting point to not your progressed sun. It's challenging your progressed sun. I thought I saw something. To Mars. It's activating your progressed Mars, and that's the key there, because Mars rules your house of career. So that is a beautiful trine. You've got something coming up in December that is going to really get you more of what you want.
And
everything comes with a kind of challenge. Sometimes it's just the challenge of letting go of something you have been working with, and recognizing that this is something more of what you want and taking the chance. That may very well be what this challenge is, because I see some kind of challenge in it.
And you said it'll be in the house of wishes and dreams?
The sun, yes. What you really want.
That's what it is? Okay. So the sun is wishes and dreams.
No, the sun isn't. The house, the 11th house is. And the sun is traveling through.
Okay. And did you say this would be my last job?
I did not say that, no. There is no way I can identify a last of anything. I can identify points of transition. People ask me all the time, can you tell me when I'm going to die? No, I cannot, and no astrologer can, because we have points of transition. So, no, I can't say that this is your last job, but I'm going to say that this is a job that you have wanted, and a job that will be aligned with what it is you have desired.
Wonderful. And tomorrow, I'm going to ask the hearing aid place to submit a form to the Employment Development Office so that I can collect short-term disability, because I cannot do my job. I work in a call center without my hearing aids. I hope to God they do it.
I'm sure they will. I don't doubt that they will. You know, you don't have anything horrible in this chart that says they will not do that. As a matter of fact, Saturn right now is making a trine. That's May. I need to go forward a month. We're on June 3rd. But Saturn still is, actually, it's almost exact. It's almost an exact trine. It's at 1934 retrograde. Your progressed sun is 1928. By tomorrow, it'll be almost on top of it. So you've got this magnificent trine opening up. And that gets you what you want. So go for it. This is, coming through the 8th house. The 8th house is the house of insurance and taxes and mortgages and how we mesh our resources with others, and this sounds like it's an issue that involves insurance. So if it is, this indicates that you have had something in place and that you will be successful at getting the results. So
thank God. Well, thank you, and God bless you, and I love your show. It's wonderful.
Thank you for calling, Laura.
Thanks, because Barbara's the one who does it all. I just show up.
Well, without you, there's no show, so you're really, really responsible for this. Thanks for calling, Laura.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for calling, Wendy. Yes.
Certainly.
Bye-bye now. Okay, let's try Laura again. Hi, Laura. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, good.
You're on with Michele.
What's your date of birth?
October 1st, 63.
October 1, 1963. Okay, and the time you were born?
1:14 in the afternoon.
14 p.m. And where were you born?
Yeah, 1:14.
And where were you?
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, PA. Okay, let's go take a look. And what did you want me to focus on?
Money, career, health.
Okay, well, money and career, those are big things. Let's look at your house of money and see what's happening there. You were born with Capricorn on that house cusp and Saturn in that house, so you're a person who tends to be more cautious with money. You don't just throw it away. And at the same time, having Saturn in that house means you work pretty darn hard for your money. You also tend to save, so those are all good things. Unfortunately, they're not. You weren't born with this wonderful statement that says, "I'll have lots of money my whole life. I will never be short." But nonetheless, it is what it is. Where Saturn is in the sky right now is not tremendously helpful to you. It causes a lot of friction, and so there may be a little bit of stress there. But you are born with Venus making a beautiful trine to that Saturn, and it's coming through the house that it rules, which is your house of career. So you're someone who has the skills, and you have, I want to say, a position of authority you could have in terms of your abilities and the way you would make money. Now, all we need is a little activation of that, and we might be able to get you somewhere where there would be an increase or a doorway for an increase. So let's just take a quick look. And what's happened, I don't know that anything happened today. The moon did activate, but it wasn't close enough. It would have been a couple of days ago, or early this morning, actually. The sun also is active, creating this lovely grand trine, but the sun moves too quickly for us to get a whole lot out of it, unless we're right on the moment at that time. So let's see if anybody else is going to help you out in any way. Okay, Jupiter's in retrograde. I don't know what if we've got to go forward and just see if we'll go all the way back. It's stations in late August, right around 14. So when it stations, it starts to move forward, and by the time we get to the beginning of September, it is activating that Venus and activating your Saturn. So there is definitely an opportunity for expanded income, expanded opportunity in terms of your career as well. So that looks very good. Now, what was the other you wanted to look at?
Yeah, what did you say that was going to be in September?
Yeah, September, early September, late August.
Well, I want to get a house, so it's all tied in around money. So I need the money to get the down payment for the house.
Yeah. So, well, let's see here. The moon rules your house of mortgages, and Mars rules your house of real property. So let's just see if we've got any activation of either the moon or. And what's interesting, actually September. Okay, so you have an 8-degree nadir. That's the fourth house. So your progressed moon right now is almost 3 degrees, and this is June. So let's go July, August, September. That's 3 months. 3 and 3 is 6. It's not quite into that next house, 7, 8, 9. So we took it to September, right? October, November, December. December, this moon moves into your fourth house. And when it moves into your fourth house, it will be really applying, and actually on top of your Jupiter, your progressed Jupiter. And actually, even 2 months before that, it will be applying to your progressed Jupiter. So you've got an opportunity here to expand everything. Let's see if we get an action with Mars as well. And Mars is at 13 degrees natally in Scorpio, which is not a lot of help. It's actually creates a certain amount of challenge. The progressed is 23 Sag, and what's interesting, if we take this ahead, I think we're going to see that you're going to get what you're looking for. So let me just move this ahead to December, November. Let me see. Here we go. Exactly. So November, the beginning of November, we talked about the beginning of September, right? Well, when we come to the beginning of November, we've got all kinds of activity that's awesome. We've got Jupiter literally on top of your Mars, even at the end of October, late October. And that conjunction says there is opportunity for you to expand your home or to get a home or a new home or the dream home or whatever you want to call it. It's like I can have what I want. I can have a home for me, is the statement. And the moon will also be applying to Jupiter, so you will most likely at that point in time move into the opportunity for a house. So you may be buying it at that point. How that activates, we need more activation here of this house cusp. It's 23. It's an in conjunct, so you're probably going to have to get some help getting the loan you want, or you're just going to have to, you might stress a little, but you're going to have to go through the effort of doing all the paperwork and finding a mortgage broker to get the home you want, or maybe just looking for the home that's. But I believe you're going to get through this, so I have other things here that seem to indicate that, and more than anything, the moon itself is indicating it, the progressed moon. And here, the progressed moon in February of 2020 goes into the fourth house, and so it is conjunct Jupiter and in the fourth house. That's a strong indication at that point in time. Mars itself is on top of Mars, so you've got that going on, a statement of a move going on, a move into a house that you want. So I expect you'll most likely have a house at that point in time. We also have Jupiter making a sextile to your natal Mars, and we've got several statements going on. It's not without challenge, and the challenge looks like it's more about prettying it up, making it pretty the way you want it, because of the challenges with Venus. So it could be extra money to make it extra pretty. You know, just take it a step at a time. Don't freak out. Take it a step at a time. You know, when we moved into this house, we had to have a huge amount of money to sink into it, and we had to work really hard to get what we wanted. But you know, everybody does. It's worth the effort, though. But you're going to end up with a place probably around early February, the end of January.
Great. Thank you very, very much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Hanging on, and thank you for being there.
Yeah,
thanks for calling, Laura. Bye-bye now.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Okay. Jeannie has been at work, and my switchboard is going crazy, so I'm going to try to take people in order. Okay, we've got Harriet.
Hello?
Hi.
Hello?
Is
This is
Mary?
Harrylyn?
Harrylyn.
Oh, sorry.
That's what Jeannie wrote. I thought Jeannie was going crazy on me. Hi,
oh, no,
you're on
I was
the
joking
air.
with her about it's not even Mercury retrograde because she had difficulty spelling my first name, so I kind of joked about like unintended jokes.
Yeah, no, Mercury's not retrograde yet. It's coming. It's not yet. It's always coming or going, 3 times a year. So now,
Hello,
what is your
Michelle.
Hi.
My birth date is September 1st, 1978, Honolulu, Hawaii, 9:45 p.m.
What a wonderful word. H-I, and what time did you say? 9:45 p.m. Did you say?
Yes.
45 p.m. or a.m.? You said p.m., right?
p.m. Mm-hmm.
I got September 1, 78, 9:45 p.m., Honolulu, Hawaii. Okie dokie. Let's go take a look. What do you want to take a look at?
Well, I recently been working 2 jobs, though, and I like my second job much better than my first job. My second job is a human billboard, and I'm sure Mark, who is a friend of mine on Facebook, would mention now and then. But anyways, though, I like that job more than my first job, which is a telephone interviewer at a call center. And I'm just wondering, though, do you see me quitting my first job for my second job in the future? Because I certainly want to quit. I do want to quit. I mean, this is much better pay, and I feel happy.
I can tell you right now that it's not a matter of me seeing you doing it. I'm going to say what's happening in your chart is Pluto right now is retrograde. It will go direct, and when it goes direct, is going to start applying to your midheaven. And when it does that, you're going to transform your job. So more than likely, from what you're saying, that sounds like that's what you're going to choose to do. It won't go direct till October or the end of September, and as it does, it starts to apply. So let's just take a look at when it goes direct. What is it something that at that moment in time you're going to make that change? Let's see what it does. It's in this zone. You have to give me a minute. It takes me a little bit of moving this to get to where I want to go. So October 3rd, 2019, it stations direct. And as it stations direct, it's making a square to your progressed sun in the house of the workplace. So it's like you're being challenged. Will I do it or will I not? You're the one challenging you. The planets are just speaking to it, and it's really up to you what you choose to do. I don't know why you wouldn't. I don't completely understand why you wouldn't. There is a sextile between Pluto direct and your progressed Venus. Venus rules you feeling how you feel about yourself, how you look, how you like yourself. And Venus is also hidden. It's a hidden ruler in the house of in the 6th house. So it's kind of interesting, even as I say it, having that as a hidden ruler, it has to come through Virgo. So it's basically saying, do I really love myself enough to do something for myself, or do I really have to pay attention to every detail and do things the way that they're supposed to be done so I can justify everything? So that is the statement of your thought process by the way your chart is constructed. And I would highly recommend you do what is good for you and not have a need to justify it to anyone. So just think about what I've said, because that's part of the way you've programmed this chart. It's a learning lesson for you. You put these steps in front of you to learn to take better care of yourself, to recognize that you are worthy of being paid more, and you are worthy of everything that you could possibly desire for yourself. Think about it. The way you've constructed this chart, you're telling me very clearly the reason I'm asking this question is because I don't always think I'm worthy.
That's interesting. I do feel that way now and then, on occasion.
Yeah. Well, it's time for you. And of course, you're growing. You continue to, all of us, we continue to move forward in our states of consciousness. And so we subconsciously have these experiences where we suddenly bring it to the forefront and we recognize, oh, wait, I need to do more of this. And so a little bit at a time, you've been taking steps to actually take better care of yourself. And here you are asking me. You know, if I was your best friend and I didn't look at a chart at all, I'd say, what does your heart tell you? And if your heart tells you, I like this better, I would say, I would encourage you to do what your heart is telling you, because that is always what's best for you. You know, soul is passion. Your soul's passion is you. When you are in a passionate state, when any of us are doing what we are passionately excited about, we are lights that are so much brighter on the planet. And do what you love. And know you're going to do it better than anyone else because of how much you love it. And you will get paid. Always see yourself as money expanding, because you are a light that expands. And the more that light expands, the more money expands to it. Magnetizes. So think in those terms. Yes, I'd say definitely you should go for this. You know, and you may want to wait till October as all of this activates and Pluto does go direct and you feel more aligned to go for it. If you don't do it at that point in time, you may wait until Pluto really crosses over. The day will come when Pluto will cross your midheaven, and when it does, when it crosses any of our midheavens, we usually make a huge transformation in our lives, and the transformation is our career. And it goes over it in 2023. So it's not tomorrow, but when it does, we transform our careers. Some people retire when it goes over it. I don't think you're old enough to retire.
No.
But maybe you are, because I have no idea about age. But that is just happens to be something that I will notice where people do sometimes retire. On the other hand, people transform their career and they just do more of what they want. Pluto in your chart rules your 7th house, which is the house of partnerships, and it's the house of marriage. It's the house of really having a connection, strong connection with another being, another person. And to have Pluto being the ruler of that and traveling into your 10th house, you might find that you start to recognize that you have the ability to partner with someone in a way that might exponentially change your income, exponentially change your career. And when I look at this, that 27-degree mark, it makes a perfect trine to your North Node. And the North Node always tells us, what is it that I came here in this lifetime to achieve as soul? So here you have the trine, Pluto going into the 10th house. The transformation you're going to make is you're going to point yourself towards what it is you as soul said I would do in this lifetime. And your North Node is in Virgo. It's in the 5th house. You have the sun in that house, the moon in that house, Saturn in that house, all in Virgo. But the Virgo is coming through Leo. So Virgo is all about service. It's also about health. And coming through Leo can be service in health for children. Or can have to do with entertaining in some way that serves health. Can be that too. I joke about this. I did a sermon, 3 weeks ago at the UUU station, and one of the key elements to healing anything is laughter. So when I see this combination, you could be a jester. They're actually having people be jesters at children's hospitals. Whatever it is that you end up doing, it's going to be something that you love.
Connection with children, because I am doing a human billboard for a kids club, a kids playground. That's interesting.
This combination tells me, one, you've got your sun and moon there. That is a fabulous and powerful statement. When we put the sun and the moon together, it says our ego and our desires are aligned. And you have them aligned in Virgo. Virgo is fantastic with details. They're the engineers of the planet, okay? They engineer everything, whether it is a formula that is a flower remedy or it is a bridge. They are engineers, okay? Because their ability to identify detail is so incredible. And then you have it where it has to speak through Leo. It can't just do it on its own. It's not going to be that critical Virgo at all. Instead, it has to come through Leo, which means it brings out laughter and entertainment, and children love it, and that whole experience of joy and fun and play has to be part of it. So, when you think about, what is the name, maybe Barbara will remember it, the name of the wonderful group that's up in England that does flower essences, and they have a whole community there, and they work with fairies. What is it?
Findhorn. It's in Scotland.
That's Findhorn. It's in Scotland. I take it back. So that's a perfect example of this combination, Findhorn. Perfect example of having all of this energy in Virgo coming through Leo. So if you're not familiar with Findhorn, go look it up. It's a fascinating community.
Okay. Is that 2 words or 1 word, Findhorn?
I think it's 2 words, isn't it?
One word. One word.
One word?
Okay.
Yeah, well, I'm sure if you put it in, it'll come up anyway. They've been around
do look
forever.
in Scotland because it's not in England. But other than that,
it's part of the UK, though, huh?
Right. Yes. That's a stretch, but yes.
All right.
Interesting.
I'll get some kind of credit here.
Yeah, we've got to move on. So thanks so much for calling.
Well, thank you so much.
You take care.
You're so welcome.
Thank you, Michelle.
You bet.
And Barbara, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, there are other people waiting, but I have 2 questions here that have been bugging me. So, and they're not about my chart or anything like that. I have 2 questions.
Okay.
When someone has a near-death experience and they have experienced death, and they're brought back, Does that change their chart, and do they have another birth date because they died and they came back?
No, not at all. And that's the same for people who are walk-ins, although there are many people who are walk-ins who I have worked with who say, no, I want you to look at my walk-in chart. And I look at both of them. But they speak,
no, that was my other question.
Yeah, they speak to the same thing. You can, if you wanted to, you could create a new chart. If you want to believe that is your chart, you have the right to do that. But in reality, it's a transition point. And those transitions show up in the chart. It's a huge Pluto transition point. And, I have clients, I have one client in particular who, the way his chart is designed, he's had so many of these that it's crazy. It's like he has a fixed star that connects to this transition point, that every time there's an activation, it's possible for him to actually have a new life. He transforms every time. And this is a person who has had death experience. I want to say death experience, not just near death, but he was in a morgue at one time. And they got him back out of the morgue. That's how far into death he went.
Okay, so thank you. You've cleared that up. I feel much better now.
Okay.
We've got Ann here on the phone. Hi, Annie, are you there? Ann.
Yes, I'm here. Yes. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Barbara. How are you?
Hi.
We're good. We're good. So what's your date of birth, Ann?
June 16th, 1952.
And happy birthday. It's coming up right around the corner.
Thank you. Thank you.
And
I've spoken to you before on Barbara's show. And then I was born, 6:44 a.m.
And location?
Tarrytown, Tarrytown, New York.
Yep, I know
Westchester County. Yes.
Yeah, I know it is. Tarrytown. All righty, that's exciting. I always thought of Tarrytown as such a lovely place.
Yes, it is. Yes. And a new bridge, too.
Do you still live there by any chance?
No, I live in Virginia.
Okay, that's also beautiful. Okay, so
is that the new? Wait, is that the new Tappan Zee Bridge?
Yes, the new Tappan. Yeah, it's called the Mario Cuomo Bridge. So that's not what we want to call it, though. We want to keep it the Tappan Zee.
It will
they
always
changed it to Mario Cuomo
Bridge.
I didn't know that.
Yes, it will always be.
To me it'll always be Tappan Zee Bridge. That's older people.
Wow. I'm sorry.
Okay. What do you want to focus on?
Well, I'm wondering if because I'm rising Cancer, and opposite is Pluto and Saturn and Capricorn, and I'm wondering here I just keep thinking about karma so much in my life, and how being the youngest in the family, being born later in life, that I've carried a lot of heaviness over the years. It's hard to describe the heaviness. And I'm just wondering if that karma that I'm carrying, again, I'm not sure, I'm pretty sure it's family karma, whether I'm going to be carrying that heaviness throughout my life. Does that make sense at all?
It makes a lot of sense, and I am sorry that you continue to allow that to be so intense. But let me explain some of the reasons why. And it's not just the transit. Yes, the transit is intensifying some of it. Saturn and Pluto are not opposing your ascendant. They've already done that. They're way past it. Your ascendant is only 12 degrees. And Saturn and Pluto, Saturn's at 1934 and Pluto is at 22. And even though they are retrograde, they are still a long way from your ascendant or descendant. So not to concern yourself with that. But what they are going to move into activating as they continue to move forward is the sun. Your sun is 25 Gemini and your Venus is 22 Gemini. And as they move forward, there is a quincunx action. And you've heard me say quincunx. It's a 150-degree aspect, okay? that will
Yes.
activate, and that is where the biggest challenge is. And this is what you have to clear out while Pluto comes through here. It will only do this once in your lifetime. It can't do it again unless you live to be like 300 years old. So, of course, you could do that if you want to, as you wish. At any rate, Pluto in that quincunx causes a certain amount of stress where you go back and forth, and you'll be thinking about your father, and you'll be thinking about loving your father. You'll be thinking about how you felt less than because of your father. There are all kinds of statements there that are coming out of past life experiences, as well as experiences that may have been reflections of past life as a result of your father in this lifetime. Okay? And that quincunx action is to help you bring these things to the surface so you can bless them, forgive, and release. And you've probably heard me say this a gazillion times on this show: shame, blame, guilt. These are things that we all need to free ourselves from. And the way we do this is by looking at them and loving that part of ourselves, releasing it, blessing it, loving it, being grateful, and moving on. There is never a reason for you to feel shame, blame, or guilt. You are a divine being. You've created experiences so you could learn greater compassion. Compassion for yourself is number one. You need to learn that. And when we're born, as you were, with the sun in the 12th house and Venus in the 12th house, we have a sense of martyrdom. We feel like we are not getting everything we deserve. We feel less than, because the 12th house is the closet, and every issue of karma comes to the surface through the planets that are aggregated in this house. And when you put the sun, which is one of the most powerful and most buoyant and most joyful parts of our ego, that part of us that's supposed to feel good about who we are, and you have it in Gemini, which is a very agile and fun kind of mental gymnast in this house, it kind of quiets it all down and kind of crushes it at times. So you need to reflect on that and say, you know what? As Pluto is making this action, and it's not right now because it's in retrograde, but it is making this action because it is at the 22-degree mark. And it's making that action in terms of the 5th house, because Venus rules the 5th house. It's making that action in terms of the 7th house because Pluto's in the 7th house. And those two houses, they're the house of children, they're the house of love, falling in love, they're the house of marriage, they're the house of partnership. So all of the issues that are connected there, you are stressing over and you go back and forth with, especially as it relates to feeling less than with your father, or feeling that your father maybe spoke over you or spoke beyond you or did not give you the complete, I want to say, all around push that he could have given you if he looked at you not just as from perhaps a past life connection being female, but rather as a whole being. You need to see yourself as capable of everything and loving yourself for all of that, instead of just allowing the sabotage elements that can come through the martyrdom issues of this house to roll around in your brain and make you less than.
So you're not surprised that I've had these feelings for a while. Yeah.
Oh, not at all. But, you have to work on that and let them go. You don't need to keep them, and you don't need to say, well, I'm carrying this karma. You need to say, I now release this karma. Whatever it was, it's time. I want to go beyond this. I want to be that buoyant person. And where is your progressed sun? Look at your progressed sun, 29 degrees of Leo, okay? In a year it will be in the next sign, which is in Virgo, and you may become even more detail-oriented when it does in the 3rd house, thinking of all the details. Fine, take the time to write them down. And laugh at yourself. You have Leo on this house cusp. This is the house of your mind, your thoughts, the way you think. And even though you do have some progressed planets in Virgo here, Venus and the moon, and soon to be the sun, you may think in terms of the details, but you have the ability to twist them into something funny. Laugh at yourself, laugh at the experiences. That's basically what your chart is telling you. It's time to go beyond where you've been.
Got it. Well, it's never too late, right? Thank you.
Oh, no, as long as you're breathing, and even after
That's
you're
right.
not breathing, it's still not too late. You got another option anytime you want to take it. You don't run out of options.
No,
You're
but I guess
conscious-
I must have called for that reason. I mean, if Pluto is, Pluto's where it is because it's supposed to be at this time,
Yes.
I guess this is supposed to happen.
Yeah,
It's never too late, so.
Jupiter's at the opposite end of the Sun-Venus experience, and when Jupiter goes direct, it's going to help you expand through learning. It will give you more of a balancing act to work with, but it will call to you to expand the way that you see everything, expand your ability through service, and sometimes service can be the ultimate way of you realizing, you know what, I have it better than I thought. I remember years ago, and I've probably told this story before on this show, I never know what I say, so I hope I don't bore anyone. But years ago, when I was feeling sorry for myself, the spiritual beings gave me a nice shove. My sister called, and it was a Saturday, and she said, and my sister was an executive director for a handicapped group, mentally handicapped group of young people. She called and she says, the person who's supposed to drive the bus isn't here. Can you come drive the bus for me? And I said, sure, I'll be happy to. And I got there, and I remember sitting there as the kids got on the bus, and I looked at every one of them, and I thought, wow, look at these smiles. Look at these amazing children, every one of them with a huge smile on their face. And they will never get on a plane by themselves. They will never be able to get married, probably, or own their own home, or drive their own car, or travel wherever they want to. They will never have that freedom, and yet look at them. What is wrong with me? That's what I thought to myself. All right, slap yourself in the face and go on,
Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome, sweetie. Big hugs to you.
Thank you. It's a good birthday gift. Thank you.
Thanks for calling.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
You have a good night.
Okay. You didn't tell her to put her big girl panties on, did you?
No, that's your line.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I've never used that line. It's only yours, Barbara. All yours.
Yes, well, it's one of the many. Okay, we've got Maddie here. Hi, Maddie. Hello, Maddie. Well, I know she wanted a reading. All right.
We've lost Maddie.
No,
I'm
we
so
haven't
sorry.
lost her. She's still here. It's just that she's not there. This is probably when she decided to go to the bathroom or to get a drink of water, just in case. All right. We've got Tanika here. Hi, Tanika. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Hi.
Hi. What's your date of birth, Tanika?
September the 3rd, 1978.
September 3rd, 1978. Time of birth?
I've always been told that it was in the morning, like around 7 or 7:30, like in a 7 a.m. hour, but I don't know the exact time.
Okay, so we'll try to get close, and hopefully my timing might be off when I speak to you about timing. So just kind of bear with that, because if we don't have the exact time of birth, the timing that I might give you may be off a little. Okay?
Okay.
Where were you born?
Kingston, Jamaica.
Kingston. God, that's got to be a beautiful place.
Yeah.
I've never been, but I love the accent. Why don't you have the accent? I love that accent.
When I'm around my family, I think I have it more.
Yeah, we all do, don't we? I have mine more when I'm around my family, too. But I don't have a great accent. I have a New York accent. We could live without that one. Anyway. Okay, so where do you want me to focus?
Yourself.
I'd like for you to focus on love and my life changing, maybe coming up. There's someone that I have feelings for right now, but I'm not sure if he's ever going to let me in. But love is always on my mind, and then also, of course, career in my life, because there's a lot of things that haven't started yet for me that I really want still. I feel like a late bloomer.
Oh, that's okay. Don't worry. I consider myself the slowest person on the planet. I am the molasses going uphill, but I get there. So
right.
your progressive moon is at 24 Pisces, and it's in your 7th house, so you've had a lot of desire to kind of have a relationship that will work into a marriage for quite a while now. It's been about 10 months that you have been really feeling strong about that. Well, the interesting statement right now is that in another month's time, you will have what we call 2 degrees applying to the South Node, and when your moon goes to 25 degrees. And as you go from that 1 month from now, so that would be July. So July and August is a period of time where you very possibly will find yourself, actually even, next month is July. Okay, I'm good. You could even have it as we come to the end of this month, where you may connect with someone from the past, and this could be someone from a past life. If you haven't already experienced that with this person that you're hoping will open up, there may be someone else coming in. So I would say be on the outlook for it. On the other hand, it could be that this person that you're with will be the one who opens up at that point and realizes that you're someone he has trusted in a past life and that he can trust you now. That is also possible. I want to see if anybody else is going to be helping you out with this experience. You have a quincunx action, which is challenging, from Venus natally. And that has to do with what do you value, and the question you have to ask yourself is what is really important to you. So you want to take the time, if you haven't already done it, to sit down and make yourself a list of the things that are really important to you. What do you value? And I can tell you from what I'm looking just at this chart, you do value relationships. You value the ability to communicate. You value the ability to have a sensual connection with another person. And you value the ability to see things from another perspective. So there are key elements in these statements. You are certainly someone who should not have a problem attracting someone. You have Venus and Mars not terribly far apart in your chart, and the progressed are even closer together. So you will attract people. The question is, will you attract them based on the values you have set for yourself that you really want? So you're the one who tells the universe by saying to yourself what it is that you are worthy of. What happens in life is we tend to be beat down because of a variety of things. You too, like the last woman that I just spoke with, have the Sun and Saturn together in the 12th house. You also have Mercury there. But the Sun and Saturn make things heavy. Instead of having a buoyant Sun, you have Saturn on top of your Sun. And Saturn tends to cool things down, and it tends to create responsibilities, and you may have become a very responsible person because of your father, and that heavy weight of that responsibility that comes as a result of that may be something that causes you to sabotage your own relationships. So think about what I'm saying. There's some value in there. I may have not construed it exactly right, but if you think about it, you'll figure it out. And that can cause you to feel less than. You need to switch that around, okay? Whatever your dad put on you, you can just throw it off. He's only your dad biologically. Your real dad is Creator. So, and Creator only sees you as magnificent in every way. So, try to take Creator's viewpoint and see yourself in that beauty that you really are. And and don't take yourself apart. That Sun in Virgo can be very good at doing that. But the good news, of course, is you have that Mercury in Leo. It has to work its little butt off to kind of get through. But it's at 22 degrees, which is a master number, and it indicates to me that you have an incredible sense of humor. Allow yourself to use that when you think about yourself. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now that I've said all of those things, what was I looking for to begin with? Let's see here. So we have the moon on top of the South Node coming up and the progressed moon. So that is a doorway or an opportunity of some kind that can manifest. So the key is to be ready for it. And let's see if there's anything else I can add to that. Okay, Saturn right now is traveling through your fifth house. Pluto is traveling through your fifth house. The good news about Pluto traveling through the fifth house is by the time it gets out of this house, you will have transformed the way that you look at love completely. So it is not going to be stationary. Saturn in this house can put a little bit of hard work into your relationships in terms of you socializing. Is almost like it's work to get out and socialize, and you just have to kind of say no. The work is done, and go out and find the joy and let your Mercury take over. So you're going to have to kind of work with it. I wish I had more time to talk to you about all of this. I know I'm limited, but I will add one more thing. Neptune is in the seventh house right now, and as it continues through this house for you, and it will be there for a while, we're looking at like 7 years or whatever, and we tend to see life through, it gives us a little more pink rosy glasses, so we can see relationships with a more beautiful eye. Allow yourself to use that, and I want you to use it when you look in the mirror, okay? Not just at other people. Use it, and do definitely sit down and write out the list of what you want to manifest. Make sure the words honest and respect, honorable are in there, okay? You want a man who wants for you what you desire, and you want a man who has the same moral consciousness and moral compass that you have. It's very important.
I really wish I could give you his birthday so that you could tell me if he's like that. Cause it's like,
I wish we had time.
Yeah,
I wish we had time, but we don't.
I will say one thing to everyone on this phone, okay, everyone on this call who hears it now or later. If you have someone in your life you're thinking about having a relationship with, please go online, run their chart, and look at their Mercury and Neptune and see how they interface. If their Mercury is within a square, which means 45 degrees from their Neptune, they are challenged in terms of honesty. So you want to be careful of that. There are things to look at. I should really put that on my blog page so you guys could find it and understand it better. Maybe I'll do that here before long, because I would like, that's the first thing I do when I do synastry for anyone. I look, number one, is this other person honest, whether it's a partnership or a child or a marital possibility. And then after I look at that, I look to see, are they physically violent? I look at those two things. I want to make sure to get them out of the way before I tell you anything else. Because as I say to my students in class, you could find yourself magnetically attracted to a serial killer. People do. But we don't want to, okay? I don't think that's wise. So that's the first thing I do is look, and hopefully I don't find any of that. So, obviously.
How can I speak with you off the air or anything so I can give you his birthday? I know it and everything, so I can let you take a look at both of us.
Off the air, I actually do charge people to take the time to talk to them. The only time I do stuff for free is here. So, but if you decide you want a consultation, we can always do that. My fee is $188 an hour. So, but you can go to my website and connect, or astrologyandmore@gmail is my email, and you can always send me that. I'm also on Facebook. Just make sure you spell my first name with one L, Michele, A as in apple, V as in Vincent, A as in apple, N as in no, T as in Tom, I.
Can I give you his birthday?
No, we don't have time for that.
Got it. We continue, so.
Okay.
And thanks for calling, Tamika.
Yeah, and Tamika, next month and you want to get on, you can just give us his birthday next month.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Hopefully you're
Bye-bye.
on then. So, yep.
Take care and you have a good night.
Thank you.
Okie dokie. Let's see if I can find the next person. Okay. Sean, is that you?
Yes.
Ah,
yes.
You're on the air.
Hi.
Hi.
What's your date of birth?
3/3/1994.
March 3rd, 19. Did you say 94?
Oh my
Yes.
goodness!
Wow.
That's my birthday, except
Really?
for several decades. Yes.
I was going to say, really, Barbara?
I said except for several decades.
I got it. I'm sorry, that was just good. What time were you born?
The time?
Mhm.
I have the birth certificate in my car. I think it was like in the morning time.
Morning
Like,
is how early? Like 6 a.m. or 4 a.m. or what are you thinking?
I think it's like 7, like at 7 o'clock. I can actually run to my car right now. I think it's like at 7:03.
Okay, 7 o'clock is enough. That'll work. Where were you born?
Rockdale Medical Center.
I didn't understand you.
Rockdale Medical Center, Rockdale County.
What city?
Wattville,
State?
Wattville.
So Rockdale,
And what state is that in?
Georgia.
Georgia. Let's see what comes up, because I'm not understanding how you're spelling that. I don't have anything spelled like I am spelling it, so I am obviously. Is it Wakin?
Yeah, it's like outside of Atlanta. It's like close to like Conyers area.
Oh, honey, I can't see a map. I can only see latitude and longitude. Is it Watkin? Is that how you spell it?
No, what the name of the hospital?
No.
The place.
Name of the city.
The name of the city is Covington, Covington.
Oh,
Covington.
okay, that's what I need. Covington. That's a horse of a different color. That's a horse that might find with no problem. Okay, good. Now we're in the right place.
And the time that I was born, exact time I was born is at 6:18 a.m.
Oh, it's different then. Hang on. We're going to edit that real quick just so that we get the right thing. 6:18 a.m. Yeah, because that really does make a difference. Anything less than 4 minutes is not a problem, but anything over 4 minutes makes things change. Okay. Go take a look at that. And what did we want to look at? What were you wanting me to focus on?
More of my career in love life. Like, do you see my financial situation picking up a little better? Because I just started this new job around January, but it's like a 12 hours, and it's really hard. It's so hard to just do sometimes. Like, so do you see me? Because I'm really trying to purchase a home, but this job is like stressing me out. I can't even save at this job. I don't know. And in my love life, I'm single. You know, I don't really have no one, but I have a friend right now, but it's nothing serious because I'm sorry to even say it. He has someone. So I'm just, stuck in some hard places right now.
Well, let's see here. You've thrown the entire chart at me, so I'm going to have to just go somewhere. I can't answer all of that. That's not possible. I could if we had an hour, but not in 10 minutes. So income has to do with Mars in your chart, so let's take a look and see what we have working with Mars. Career has to do with Jupiter, and I see that natally you have a connection between the Sun and Jupiter. So I do not believe you're a person who can't achieve. You can achieve, just the opposite, and you should have success in your endeavors. Are you living still where you were born, or are you living further east or west?
Yes, I'm still kind of where I'm born. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, I can tell you going a little west will be helpful to you, but I'm just going to tell you that if you ever think about moving or you're looking for a house, look west. Don't look east. and it doesn't have to be that far, but west is better for you. So Jupiter, Sun to Jupiter is good in your chart natally, as long as you don't have anybody hard working. Right now, Mars is activating that, so you do have a job, and there could be a possibility if you look for another job that within a few days you could still, this trine will continue to be active, and you have the possibility of opening a doorway for still something else. So I would look if I were you.
Yes, I actually applied for something, and it keeps saying in process, but it hasn't went through yet, and it's been a whole month now.
Well, this is the time where it could come through, so don't give up on it. Mars has a wonderful option here. It's actually activated a grand trine for you. There are things, Pluto is on top of your Neptune. Neptune really doesn't have any rulership in your career house, but it doesn't really have a whole lot of rulership in your chart because it's hidden. It's a hidden ruler in the first. But Pluto on top of it can bring to the surface things that you really want or desire, and so that's probably what's happening with you right now. You're thinking about the things that you really want that you don't have, and that's good, because if we don't think about them, we're not going to get them. And there is a challenge between that Neptune and your progressed moon. Progressed moon right now is in the house of mortgages, and as it continues to move forward, it's going to give you a better chance of getting the mortgage you're looking for so you can get a house. It's not quite in position yet. It's in a place where it's been in a stressful activity. But this next month, it will move into a position where there is a trine action taking place, and it'll be pretty much clear of all the things that have been stressful. It's a little bit of stress with the moon in the 9th, natally. Now, let's see if I can tell you. It's a long ways to get to that next space, but I will tell you this, okay? So let me just move forward. It's 25 degrees now, it's almost 26 degrees now. So in 4 months, it will go to 0. In 13 months, it will go, well, no, it has to be 14 because by then it'll be more than that. So 14 and 3 is 17. 17 months from now to 18 months from now, you will have that home you're looking for.
An actual mortgage that I was trying to, work toward?
Yes. You will have what you want. You will have the home you're looking for in about whatever I said, 4 and 14, 18 months. In 18 months, and it could be 2 months before that, but at that point in time, you have a doorway that just plain opens up for you to have success with that. Venus at that point in time, let me see where Venus is. Venus 24 progressed. And right now, see, that's a struggle right now, and that's not going to work for you. But natally, it's 23 Pisces. So yes. I see this is happening. It will happen somewhere between that 18-month point and, let's see, it's 18 takes it to 14. Another 6 will take it to 22. So it's in that time frame between 18 months and 22, 18 months and 20, yes, 18 months and 22 months, that house should be yours. So it may be a long closing, but you should move point. So that's pretty exciting to see that activity. How often, to give you an understanding of how often the moon would be in such a position for you, is very, very long zone. It's like between 28 and 30 years.
Wow.
So it won't be in that zone again for quite a while.
Wow.
And during that period, there will be other planets that will be active. And I could go forward and look, but I know that's such a strong combination that I can't see you missing it. It's not going to happen that you'll miss.
So
you've got to try. Sorry?
So you do see my financial situation picking up better before the 18th.
Yeah, and that's all. I mean, when that moon gets to that point, and I said, how many months did I tell you?
18
I'm going to go.
months.
Yeah, so here, June 3rd of 2020, okay, that's a year from now, right? 12 months from now. At that point in time, the progressed moon is making a trine to your sun. So there is a possibility that at that point in time you could become engaged and you might be on your way to a marriage a few months later.
Oh, wow. Around June 2020?
Yep. And that's a pretty exciting statement.
Wow. So I'll be
around
like
very
next
often.
year?
Said it'd be 30 years for this to come back around. It's a long time. So that's a very powerful statement that's coming, and that statement continues from, it's actually active. Let's see, that's a 2-degree space, and some people can activate it further than 2 degrees, and if so, you could take it back another 2 months, could be even 2 months sooner than that. So what is that, April? Yes, April. So I would start seeing what's happening in April of 2020, but that just moves forward and it moves into a position where there is also a home involved. So you've got that coming up, and it looks very good to me. It's going to increase money, and there's also a statement hidden in this that it's possible that you could work out of your home. So I don't know what you're doing at this point in time, but there is also the possibility that you would work out of your home. Your career could shift to working out of your home at that point.
Wow. Oh, wow. And, you know, I was telling my mom, and I went through school with cosmetology, and I was telling my mom, like, hey, I want to, you know, do pedicures. I want to just start just doing this stuff and just be mobile. And I just keep stressing to her, like, you know, if I get my house, I want to decorate my room into like a salon. So I have been telling her that.
Well, I think you're going to do that. This looks very, very, very much like you are doing that. So that's pretty exciting.
I will be married with someone?
It looks like there's a marriage here. This looks like an engagement that leads to a marriage, because when Jupiter finally conjoins the progressed Jupiter, Jupiter is in the 9th house of legal actions, okay? And making the trine to the sun is marriage. It rules your house of marriage. So it's really about you. All of this is pointing at me, which is very exciting, very exciting. Marriage isn't nearly always the bride, so it's not surprising.
And now I will be meeting this guy like around this year or around like the end of the year next year.
I haven't really looked at that so much, and I don't know how our time is, so I wanted to be careful.
We're short.
Yeah, so, but, you know, you can look forward to this, and that person may show up, as long as Uranus is not involved, they could show up anytime. I mean, I don't know. Where are we in time? I went back too far. Here we are, 2019. And just the moon rules falling in love for you, and so the progressed moon right now is not in a good position. It wasn't in a good position. It's moving forward, though. And let's see. It's not, I mean, when it gets to the next sign, and it's at 5 degrees of the next sign, so that's, let's see, that's 10 months away. In 10 months, I'd say definitely.
Okay. Wow.
Okay.
Wow. Thank you.
You're
Thanks
welcome.
for calling.
Take care and be positive. You know, make your list and make sure. It sounds like you know already what you want to manifest, so go for it.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. Bye-bye now.
Care. Good night. Bye.
Okay, I've gotten a couple of calls here. Not calls, but a couple of notes. What was it exactly when looking at a person you're thinking to date, you run their chart, and what do you look for to make sure they're not a liar?
You look to see what the aspect is between Mercury and Neptune. Hard aspects between Mercury and Neptune can indicate someone who lies. Now,
and what would a hard aspect be? I mean, what would a hard aspect be? Yeah.
45 degrees, a square, 45 degrees is a hard aspect. And a quincunx would also be one to look at 150 degrees, and sometimes the opposition as well. But the real one, more than anything, is the square, and that is within a 2-degree spread, not wide, so 2 degrees. So, for example, if a person has their Mercury at 25 degrees of, let's say, Libra, and their Neptune is at 25 degrees of Leo, that would be a square, okay?
Okay.
And that square would be viable within 2 degrees either way. So it would means 23 degrees to 27 degrees, either of them, okay?
Okay. Good thing to know.
And, of course, where it lands in the house and how other planets are interfacing with it tells the rest of the story. It can tell if a person becomes violent when they get angry, or if they just get angry and just spew words, or if they lie and under pressure, or if they lie as a result of feeling bad about themselves. There can be all kinds of reasons why people lie. We all probably lie at some point in some way, but the key is, under hard aspect, the person usually tends to be a liar.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Okay.
Everybody, I hope it does.
Yeah, I had 3 people, send me emails and, tell her to explain this a little more. This will do it. And I even wrote it down. Okay, we've got Donna here. We got to keep going.
Okay.
Okay. Hi, Donna. You there?
Hello, Barbara. I'm here. How are you?
Yay.
Hi, Michelle. Hi.
Hi. When's your birthday, Donna?
Michelle. April 22nd, 1954.
April 22nd, 1954. You just had a birthday not long ago. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
And what time were you born, Donna?
2:50 p.m. in Flushing, Long Island.
In Flushing. Oh, and I have to put New York. I put down Long Island. Sorry, computer doesn't do Long Island.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. I think of Flushing and I say Long Island automatically. So, let's see here. So now, what did you want to focus on?
I guess monies, because I had gotten this thing in my meditation that something was coming soon, so I'm hoping that it's money. I've been waiting patiently for something to fall on my lap.
Oh, good. Well, I would like everyone on this call to immediately think positive thoughts about money. I want you all to see money expanding in all of our wallets, all of our bank accounts. I want to see every person who loves to serve the universe, who loves to have things happen for the good of the whole. I want to see every one of you have money expand limitlessly, because there are so many things that need to be cared for in this world, and I know every one of you has a cause of some kind. So now let's look at you, now that I've had my 2 cents. Let's see. So you're just saying, you have a feeling that maybe something is coming in that's going to be a big bundle. That would be very nice. Pluto is a long way from making that happen. Saturn doesn't usually, but Saturn has the ability to make something happen and opening up a whole trine. You've got a grand trine getting ready to open up. It is not there yet. You do have an interesting aspect where Jupiter opposes Jupiter and makes a sextile to Neptune, but I don't know that that's going to bring in a whole lot. Where is Venus? Your natal Venus. It's also 22 degrees. Okay, so Jupiter has to turn around when it makes the quincunx action to Venus. Venus rules your house of money. Your progressed Venus is at 10 degrees of Leo. Yeah, well, there was a nice opportunity there, but that's not there now. So let's go take a look at just coming up here. It's not too far away. It's this fall. So let's just go forward and see. Once Jupiter Here it is getting very close. It's when we get to October, it is within range. It's starting to get there. So here it is at 20 degrees, and here's a 21. So at 21 degrees, it makes a direct quincunx hit to your Venus, and it makes an opposition to Jupiter, and it makes a sextile to Neptune. So with the hard aspect like that, it is possible that you might have some kind of scratch-off lottery thing happen. It is a trine also to Pluto that calls for a major transformation. But, you know, I'm not a big bettor on lotteries, but nonetheless, there is a little window in there. You might try a few, but I never recommend you do more than, if God's going to give it to you, $1 will help you, okay? You don't have to put a whole lot, okay? You got me? I never recommend.
October you're looking at, Michelle? October
19th, and and let your intuition tell you, because it can range from October a few days before, and it could go even as far as, let me see here, 22, 30, till about October 26th. So
okay.
Let yourself.
I have
feel
one on the lottery
out.
though. I have one before. I won 10,000.
Okay, well,
5,000, 2,000, yeah.
So you know, that's a period of time that has doorways, but then we're going to go forward to where the real big doorway opens, and that's when number one, Pluto, when it hits the 22 mark, but when we get Jupiter on top of it, I think, is what your next time looking at it is. But even when it hits 22, it's in a quincunx to itself. But I'd want to pull Jupiter in if it's going to be a biggie. Let's go here. And that is just a little too far. Give me just a second. I have got to get the upgrade in this thing because I don't get weeks in here. I got to go from days to months, and that's not really what I want. But, okay, so here we go. 2437 is a little past. 2216, applying. So next year, March 16th, around March 16th, 2020 is another doorway of possibility. And then we're going to go into the following year where we have a huge thing. But this is a good doorway. I mean, you have a trine between Venus. Venus is your money maker, and Jupiter coming through your house of gambling, while it is also making a quincunx to Jupiter and a square to Neptune. It usually takes some hard aspects to win in a lottery situation. It also makes a quincunx to Pluto. You've got a whole bunch of things going on, all of them having to do with activation of money. So this is another time frame. Again, let your guidance hold you, because I'm not breaking this down for you. When I get into actually doing people for gambling, I have been hired by people to do gambling, and if you have a chart for gambling, I work with you. But then we break it down to the minute, literally. So
wow,
we can't do that here, okay?
That's amazing. That's amazing.
It takes time, wow. Yes. Gambling is a horse of a different color all the way around. And there are people who have gamblers' charts. I don't mind working with them, but most people do not have gamblers' charts. And you got to give me a minute here. I'm going forward is what I'm doing here. Here we go. Okay, so here we have the Grand Trine doorway open, and this is the beginning of a Grand Trine, which is March 17th, 2021. And let's see, here we get it through for a few days here until it gets to 22, 32, or so forth. So around March 27th, 28th, that's a doorway that it could promise something really exciting.
And that's in 2021?
2021.
Okay.
The end of March 2021.
Okay. Oh, good.
So those are three doorways that are coming up for you. And granted, those doorways, each one of them, if you track back 12 years, you can go take a look at what was happening in your life. Yeah. Each of those doorways, to some degree, not completely, because Pluto was not involved 12 years ago. It's much more powerful with Pluto involved, but to some degree, Jupiter was in those positions 12 years ago.
See, now 12 years ago, I won a BMW.
Well, there you go, sweetie.
Yep.
Not surprising. That's the thing about Jupiter. If you got the definition going, you can track Jupiter going through a chart. When we have people with gamblers' charts, I have one client who I could trace every August. Every August she would win money, and I could give her the dates, and she'd call me and say, I made $150,000 today, and I'd like go, why don't I take a percentage? Why do I just let people? Why do I just work with people? I have no gambling in me. That's the problem. I don't know how to gamble. Anyway, I can read it. I don't do it, though. When I've done the research on it, the most I could put in the slot machine was a nickel at a time. When I came home and won like $355 and hadn't even used my 2 rolls of nickels, my brother jumped me. He could not believe I was not doing dollars.
Oh.
Some of us just don't have gambler's blood. That's all there is to it. Anyway, look, let us know if you win another BMW.
Yes,
good for you.
Cool. Thank you so much. And if I get some money come in, I'll get a hold of you and we'll do the chart, and that'd be fabulous. Thank you so much, Michele. I appreciate this.
Oh, you're welcome. You take yourself and know that everything I say to you is with goodwill. I never have any expectations, and I would never put that on anyone. That's not what I do.
No.
Of course, yes. Thank you.
Take care now.
Thanks, Barbara. Bye.
Oh, I wish I had a gambler's chart. That would be cool.
Oh my God, there's people out there who have them.
I know. Okay, so we've got Maddie here. You there, Maddie?
I'm still here. Hi.
Hi, Maddie.
Hi.
I'm Michele. Hi, I'm Barbara.
What's your date of birth?
1/7/45, 6:50 p.m. and Cuthbert, Georgia.
Okay, hang on a second. 6:50 p.m. And where in Georgia?
Cuthbert, Cuthbert.
Cuthbert. I don't think I've heard of that. Don't know where it is in Georgia, though.
It's below Atlanta. It's
in Macon County? Is it in Macon?
It's in Randolph County.
Oh, got it.
Uh-huh.
Right. Got it now. Thank you. I'm glad I asked that question. Sometimes I get a little messed up here, and I got to know for sure. Otherwise, I read the wrong chart. I don't want to do that. Let's not waste time reading the wrong chart and misleading you. I don't want to do that. Okay, so what do we want to look at?
Do you see me doing any traveling before the year is over?
Oh, Lord, yes. When Jupiter goes direct, you could certainly open up the doorway to go for a trip. No problemo. That would be. So I'll tell you when it goes direct. It's a little while down the road here. As a matter of fact, hang on a second. I think I have it right here written down. So Jupiter will go direct on August the 11th. That's only at 14 Sag, though, and I'm not sure at 14 Sag that that's going to do you what I'm looking for. So, but that's when it does go direct, for those of you who are curious, unlike me. Okay, let's take it on. So here in October, there is an opportunity that could open up for a little worldliness. Now, Jupiter also, actually, when it has to go past that 18-degree mark, so I wouldn't want you to travel till it was past that. So let me just tell you when to go. It actually has to be 20 degrees. There we go. So, don't do it before the 13th of October because there are too many challenges for you before the 13th of October. Okay?
Okay. I'm going to remember that. Okay.
Yes,
Anytime.
and let's see what else is going on because I want to make sure that everything looks good. Pluto at that point in time is making a sextile to the travel house. That's a nice thing. Saturn is not doing anything to keep you from traveling. No. And Jupiter is in a pretty good position. There is a little friction, so you may be talking to somebody, or you may be thinking, oh, maybe, I don't know if I've got all the details straight. Plan it out so that you don't let that stuff kind of get your brain crooked. You know what I mean? Let's see if there's. We also have Uranus traveling through your 10th house, so, getting out and about is a good thing when Uranus is there. You get a little antsy. Let's see, there's a sextile to Saturn, Uranus to Saturn during that time. So that kind of is safe. That does not allow you to, it gives you a certain sense of security, and you might find yourself traveling to somewhere that you have either been or wanted to go to. It's a place where there are older things, older structures. Could be a place that connected to your father or your family's or your father's family. So that looks like something you might want to do. So that is a good one, and there will be another one, too, after that. Actually, I'm trying to think if there's actually one before that I'm missing. Let me go back and just check. Give me a second more here, because when I gave you that date, right? Whatever that date was, I lost it in my brain. So, let's see. Yeah, no, doesn't look like I've missed anything. So the next time after that will be after Jupiter goes into Capricorn, and that is a short window, but there is a window in there that would be probably cool. When Jupiter is applying to your 9th house cusp, and Neptune is closing in on that house. It's kind of cool, because it could have you go somewhere where intuitively you are connected, and you might find yourself saying, oh, if you want to get more into what you know, or from past lives, or empowerment, or a more spiritual expedition, this one would probably fit that bill pretty well. So, yeah, that is a period of time in 2020, late February. So
Okay.
that's kind of cool too. I mean, it looks like your intuition might be just kind of lit up as far as a place to go that would involve learning and might have to do with something spiritual, or you might have visions, or I don't know, maybe visit a haunted house. I don't know, but it's kind of cool.
Okay.
It's a crazy kind of connection.
Wow.
Oh, is it? Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And of course, Jupiter's on your sun at that point in time too. It's actually applying to your sun a little bit before that, and I'll just take it to where it is. Here it is on the 17th. So even you could even say February 14th, whatever. That's fine. It's good connection for you. And it's also good for money. It looks like you'll have more money during that time for one reason or another. So you seem to have what you need to have a good time.
Oh, fine. That's always a winner.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I like this one, mid-February to like February 20th or something like that.
So you say that Jupiter is moving into Capricorn in 2020?
Yeah, in 2020, Jupiter will be in Capricorn. It'll be conjoined your sun right there in February. So that's exciting. That's just, doorway for all kinds of things, because the sun rules your house of money. It rules your house of yourself, how you feel about you, and it's in your house of the workplace and your house of health. And let me see if your sun is under any hard aspect when you were born, because that is something to concern sometimes. It does not appear to be. So, and I'm looking to see if there are any progressed aspects that are hard to your sun, and I don't see any, which is good. Because sometimes when Jupiter gets on top of something, even though it's on your sun, which is like usually great stuff, okay, it's super success stuff, expansion of success, expansion of income, those kinds of things, and in this house could be an expansion of health. If there was a hard aspect to your sun, which there is not, it could increase or make something grow that is not good. So Jupiter has the ability to expand things, and we don't want it to expand anything that's not healthy. So I don't have it.
Oh,
so
that's good to know.
Yeah, that's really important. It's when I look at people's charts and I get in this house of health, I want to know that everything's going good. You were born with the sun in this house, which usually means you probably are doing well. And if your Saturn is in good aspect, and let's see, Saturn, you were born with it at 6 Cancer. The progressed is 4 Cancer, and it's got a wide orb to Venus. Venus is applying, especially to the progressed, and that's a nice sign. Anytime we have Venus activating the ruler of our house of health in a positive way, it protects the body. In the case of Saturn and in Cancer, it's protecting your bones and the oxygen level that activates the nutrition through the stomach to the bones. That's the statement. So that's a good thing to see that is there. And also, I mean, you have several things, but I also wanted to look your connection between Neptune. So there is what we call a hard aspect between your Saturn and Neptune. You were born with that. The progressed has moved to 5 degrees, and it's still in a square. So what you have to watch out for with that, okay, it's coming through your 3rd house. Neptune is in Libra. So it's more how you think and balance. And so I would tell you, you need to always pay attention when you're walking or when you're walking and talking to make sure your state of balance stays good, because and certainly if you were eating and walking and talking, eating, walking, and talking would not be a good combination for you. I don't think it's a good combination for anyone, by the way, but nonetheless. I don't know anyone who goes to a fair and doesn't walk.
I know. Right,
But nonetheless, that combination, especially if there was a hard aspect from someone on the outside, could cause you to hurt yourself, and the hurt could be with Saturn and with the Sun in this house. Not that they're in hard aspect, because they're not, but the combination could cause you to maybe break a bone or break a tooth or hurt your back. So those are things that you would want to be more cautious only. And, if it were my chart, I would probably, be marking the dates if I see any real hard aspects coming up. I always pay attention to stuff like that, because we need to minimize anything that could happen to us. And you can astrologically minimize if you pay attention. So, but
I believe yes.
We don't have to have these bad experiences. We have the ability to minimize them if we're aware. The only one that we can't.
You said that is Neptune square and
Saturn.
Neptune square and square. That is my progressed chart, and that is my natal chart, and that is through life.
It's both.
Through life. Okay.
So it's always been there. The good news, of course, is Venus has also always been there to help you. So Venus is protecting you. When we have a chart where Venus protects and Venus is coming through the 8th house making this protection, this is the kind of person who can have an accident or be in a car accident, and they bring in the jaws of life, and they still come out, and you go, wow, that person is whole and they were in that car?
I see what you're saying, yes.
Venus has great ability to protect. And coming through the 8th house, the protection can take you right through a near-death experience. And so, the near death may be what everybody sees. It might not be something that you're actually experiencing. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
To say that if we aren't in a crunch car, we aren't terrified, we can be, but usually what happens is our angelic side or our divine side or the ancestors or the angels or whatever you want to call it will usually protect us to a point where we feel calm, and time just seems to slow down when we're in a situation like that, and everything seems more calm. So it's really interesting how spirit works that way. If anybody here has been in an accident, you probably know what I'm talking about.
Wow. Well, I've been blessed. Wow. Thank you. Wow.
Gotta move on,
you're
Michelle.
welcome. Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Have a great
Thanks
trip.
for calling, Maddie.
I will. Thank you. October the 13th. Anytime after that time. I'm going. Thank you. Bye-bye.
You bet.
I want to win a Mercedes. We got Stacy on the line. Hi, Stacy.
Hey, how are you ladies doing today?
Doing
great.
Well.
How are you?
I'm doing okay. On my way to work. So
what's your...
I'm sorry, Michelle. Go ahead.
What's your date of birth?
It's August 12th, 1989.
Okie dokie. And time?
Time, I was born at 2:30 a.m. in the morning.
2:30 a.m. And where?
Long Island, New York.
I couldn't hear you. Long Island City?
Long Island, New York City. I'm sorry, Long Island, New York. Yeah.
Okie dokie. Well, let's go take a look. And what did you want to look at?
Career.
Okay. Let's take a look. So you have Pisces at the midheaven. You have all the water signs on your house cusps of work house cusps. Money is ruled by the moon, and workplace is ruled by Pluto and Mars, and your career, house of career, is ruled by Jupiter and Neptune. So let's take a look and see who is being activated and in what ways. You want to know about perhaps career expanding or a better job or more money
a better job.
Okie dokie. So you were born with Jupiter at 2 degrees of Cancer. And you were born with Saturn opposing it, kind of a wide orb, but it's kind of still there. It's still a wide orb, though, so there are times where you have a balancing act there, and it could be a bit of a struggle, and you might feel like people who are in positions of authority might be people you struggle with. But Jupiter will move to activate that midheaven not right away. Right now, it is not doing anything for you. It is going to, when it turns around and goes direct, is going to activate your north node, and your north node could be pushed because of that activation. North node tells us what did we come here to do in this lifetime, what's our reason as soul, what's soul's reason for us being in a physical body. And you have it in the 9th house, you have it in Aquarius, and the statements could be a lot of things in that house. It's an enormous house, but overall it's a statement of bringing fairness and conversation for fairness or cooperation to the world. It could be through publishing or the internet or blogs or travel even. It's very interesting. Could even be travel, but there's some. Could also be through legal work. There's a whole lot of statements there. Jupiter will activate the North Node later this year, and let me just tell you when. And so here, it's going to probably be December. It's actually November. It's the end of November. So it will activate it 27, 26. Okay, it will be a direct hit right around 12th of November, and so it's active in 2 degrees before. So around November, from November 2nd to November 12th, it is active, and that means that there will be some kind of opportunity that might open up for you. And actually, before that, look at this. This is so cool. Hang on, got to go back a few more days. You've got activation taking place to your sun. That is exciting. That's something worth talking about. So let's go all the way back. And here we have this beautiful sextile to the sun where we're applying a trine to the north node and a sextile to, and a sextile to the south node. So it's coming through your house of contracts and communication and through the workplace. And so I don't know what kind of work they're doing. I mean, with Pisces at the midheaven, it could be something behind the scenes. And with Leo and Cancer on the other cusps, it could be something that has to do with nurturing, or has to do with nutrition, can have to do with health, can have to do with medical stuff, could have to do, oh man, I could go on. There's quite a few things, but it could even have to do with radio. So, I mean, even that is a possible combination. But this wonderful sextile between Jupiter and your sun offers an opportunity for some form of contract in terms of workplace or communication that comes in regarding the workplace that may help you move in the direction or open the doorway for the direction you want to achieve as soul, that you came here to achieve soul. And when we look at even a step that this is almost exact, the day before actually is exact, and that's September 22nd of this year, okay? Almost exact with Eris in your chart, so it may be a career that also enhances women and helps you expand the possibilities for women in the workplace or in terms of their careers. So it's pretty exciting. I don't know what you do, but there's a lot of excitement in this combination for me.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That sounds awesome. That sounds really good. And
it does.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
What I do,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you. I work in customer service overnight.
You work in customer service?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not catching everything you're saying. It's kind of breaking up.
Okay. Yeah, I work in customer service overnight.
Wait.
So. Yeah.
So that fits everything I've said. So.
Yeah, it does. And I wanted to point out to you, yes, I'm going to be taking public speaking classes throughout for the next year. I'm going to give myself a challenge.
Great, because that's very aligned with what your North Node is about. It's getting out there and being heard. Yes. Creating conversation. Activating cooperation between people through conversation. It's a statement of dialogue. And dialogue on an international level. That's why the Internet seems to come into play here, but it could be also publishing. Any way you get the word out, it's not in a small room. It's an expanded room. And it could be have some elements of teaching as well. So, yeah, go for it. I think you're going right down the right zone. And, you know, even with Pisces at the midheaven saying you're in the background, you can still be in the background if you're doing a blog or you're doing a podcast or you're doing even a radio show. We're in the background. We're not out there in the face of everybody.
Oh, that sounds pretty good. All right, that sounds excellent.
Yeah, and if for you it could be a radio show too. So don't throw any of that away. This day and age, there's so many possibilities.
Yes, there is. I think, yes. I always tell people we are in the social media world today, so things you have to kind of like do yourself and meet people halfway.
Yeah, well, don't be afraid to look for help. I mean, with this action with the ninth house. That's the house also where we have the ability to learn things. So you go look for ways to learn. You can learn through YouTube channels. You can also learn through wherever you live. There can be community services that can actually help. I know we live in a little tiny town here compared to what most of the people who are listening are probably listening from. Our town has 24,000 people, and we still have. I mean, we have a business center downtown where I could go down there tomorrow, and they will teach me how to do some of this social media stuff. So, yeah, don't be afraid to go out and look around, because Jupiter is all about learning and expanding knowledge and expanding your abilities, and then offering you the doorway for what your next step is. So.
Ooh, that sounds awesome. I love it. Sounds really good.
Yeah. Well, cool. Go for it. The following year, right about the same time, the following year, which would be 2020, the fall of 2020, it's going to make a trine to your progressed part of fortune in your house of career. So some doorway is going to open up to give you something that you really want. Go for it.
Okay, that sounds excellent. I'm going to do so.
Okay. You take
Thank
care,
you,
and thanks for calling.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now. Wow. Are you out of breath yet?
It's amazing how long I can talk. It amazes me sometimes. I gave a talk down for NCGR down in Ashland some years ago, and it was like a 2.5 hour or 3 hour, I can't remember, talk. Yeah, it was about 3 hours, and we were supposed to break it an hour and a half. And I finally reached a point where I asked the monitor, I says, aren't we supposed to take a break? And she looked at her watch, and, no one in the class had moved. And she looked at her watch, and she said, we only have 5 minutes left. I thought, oh, my God, nobody even got up and said, could we get a break?
Well, I think that goes right into something you said, often, that if we're working with what we are joyful at doing, we're never working at all. And I think, with you and with me, this is we're following our bliss, and if you follow your bliss, it energizes you in strange and amazing ways. And it's inspirational, and it's insightful, and it's exciting. And it doesn't mean that you have to quit your day-to-day job. It means you can follow your bliss in your spare time. You don't have to, walk away from, feeding yourself or buying your medicine or underwear or anything like that. You can have a full-time, you can have a mundane job so long as you're following your bliss in some aspect of your life, and that's what energizes you. For a long time, I taught school for 25 years, but in my spare time, on my weekends, in the evenings when I did have time, I was doing this work, and it's what kept me going, and it's what's carried me through a lot of very difficult times in my life. So do understand that following your bliss is something that you can do in spite of everything else instead of.
Yeah, absolutely. That is absolutely true. I'm just one of those lucky.
Yeah.
The lucky people who've always followed my bliss. Very rarely have I done anything but that.
You are very lucky. And we're very lucky that you spend time with us, because, it is, I always learn something from you, and I always, am taking notes so that I can, fill in and fill out other things that needed a little bit of extra, and whatever I get astrologically from you that I actually comprehend totally, I do use. And I think everybody is that way, like this hard aspect to understand if somebody is a liar or lies. I mean, that's an important thing. And, if I were dating, I would constantly be, throwing charts together and saying, okay, let's see if this person is going to lie, because that's not a quality I want in my life. So, you do give us hints every time, and I want to thank you again. You are so generous with your time and your effort. I am so grateful that you do spend every Monday, Monday of every month with us.
Oh, I'm honored. I'm always honored. I love to be able to, I wish I could just mind meld for anyone's needs. If I could do that, I'd just do it. I always say, yeah, pick my brain. I was at the congregation the other day and Sunday, and a woman came up to me and she said, I want to ask you these questions. And I said, well, here's my brain. Just pick it. I believe we're here for each other, and
we are. But
if we